This is a dedicated webinar for you, for HEI, to make sure that everything is clear. And if there are any questions at this moment or later in the coming days, we are always here. You will be able to see our email address very soon. The content, I will shortly describe you who we are, and then our journey from Plaza to Salesforce, and your next steps. What do you need to expect from us? And in a nutshell, our grant cycle and the roles in your projects. And then I will briefly introduce Hive. That will be very useful for you in the coming days. So who are we? You are already familiar with EIT Food, I assume, because you already applied for the call. So we are Europe's leading food initiative. And I won't go into details, but you can see the regions that we are actively involved in. We are everywhere, I would say, to help you with any questions that you may have regarding your projects or your ideas, anything that you would like to share with us. So who we are specifically as business support team. So we have Anna as our heads, and then myself and my colleague Arzu, we are more involved with yourselves, so participants. And then I have my dear colleagues Martin and Renat. Martin is more dedicated to internal colleagues to help with their questions, again, of course, related to your projects. And Renat is always there to help us with our questions. Briefly, I would like to explain the difference between partners and participants, because that might be confusing from time to time. Some of you are already a partner or may think about becoming a one. So if you are an EIT food partner, that means there is a membership fee that you need to pay, and there are extra service that you can get because you are a partner. And there are different categories of partnership. And then if you are interested, we are always here to guide you through to the correct team to have some discussions about the partnership. Who are the participants? Participants are the entities. They do not pay the membership fee like partners, but they are engaging in projects with EIT Food, like yourselves. And we are the team dedicated to participants to help them with any questions that they may have regarding their grant cycle, the tool that we are using, or projects that we can work closely with your program manager to help you through. And as you see, there is a subset. So an EIT food partner can also be a participant. That means an EIT food partner can join a project, and at that moment we call them participants. And again, these participants will be served by us because they are involved in a project. So any question that you would have now or in the future, this is the email address that you can see on the right corner, kind of, for support. So that's our email address, participants, and you may reach us and we will be there to reply you as soon as possible. We have really good scores, I can say, in our reply pace, so we will do our best to help you as soon as possible. So Plaza to Salesforce. For some of you, this word Plaza will not mean anything because you are new to EIT world, but some of you are already familiar with Plaza. So we just want to make sure that what is going on at EIT Food for this moment, and then you will have some more clarity on the IT side. So our team, our IT team is dedicated to complete a great journey from our grants management tool Plaza to Salesforce. So the reason we would like to have this change is to have a centralized data. The processes will be more streamlined. It will be a user-friendly tool, highly customizable. We can extract any reports at any time, improved operational efficiency, and automation, as I said, in reporting. So that will be benefiting you and us at the same time. So we are really looking forward to finalize the whole data migration, whole setup in Salesforce. How are you going to be affected? To be honest, not much, because as you are part of each HEI initiative, you did not submit your proposals through Plaza or Salesforce. So because of the nature of your projects, your proposals are neither in Plaza nor in Salesforce. And what does it mean really? So your proposals have to be transferred to our grants management tool, which is Salesforce at this moment. So you may have questions about the next step. So now probably there is a question in your mind, what do we need to do in this transition? So just to give you a bit more detail about this one. So first, we need your projects to be located in Salesforce. The data transfer of the proposals will be completed by activity leader and the IT colleagues. So this is not your responsibility that you had your proposal submitted in another tool there. But in the meantime, while we are working on this data transfer, you will receive two set of notifications, which will be to notify you about a project creation or some things going on about your project. Please ignore them. You don't need to take any action. It's just because we are working on your proposals for their data migration. Secondly, you have already received a communication from either Laura or Kara. Thanks to them, these have been sent. And in those emails, you had seen the steps that need to be completed for onboarding. However, there might be few cases, few entities who did not receive this email. What does it mean? That means you are already onboarded in the system. This is because probably you already joined another project in previous years, and we already have your entity in our systems. So you don't need to do anything. You don't need to complete any steps, submit any documents. So if you didn't receive that email, nothing to do in terms of onboarding. If you already received the email for onboarding, please follow the steps, log into the links, complete the documents, and send them to us. We already started receiving them, thanks to you. It's really quite amazing, I would say, because sometimes it takes days, but we see you already started submitting your documents, so we really appreciate it because it will benefit you and us simultaneously to expedite the process. As a third step, we will work on onboarding and validation in our system Salesforce. I will explain more a bit about validation in the next slide, but some entities who do not have a validated PIC, they will be reached out by EIT Community Onboarding Service. That is to validate their PIC, but I will explain it later in detail. And as a fourth step, when this whole data migration and onboarding and if needed validation are completed, as consortium, you will receive the award letter, and then this will be followed by the contracts. In the award letter, you will see your project start date, and that will be the date that you already submitted in your proposal. So it will say, yes, the project start date will be 1st of April or whatever you put in your proposals. So that will be some kind of an okay for you to start your projects. However, you still need your contracts. So that is your responsibility to decide whether you go ahead with the projects and start them as soon as you get the award letter, or you wait a bit more for the contracts to be signed and then kick off your project. But we are here for your questions. As the time continues, you can always reach us and we can check your status. Where is your consortia? Which entity is missing which information? So we can help you with, explaining the case in details. So as I said, all of you, except the ones who are already in the system, need to be onboarded. And among these entities, some of you may need a further validation. Who are the ones that need further validation? Those are the ones that do not have validated PIC in REA. Because if you did not apply to any European project before, probably you just created a PIC, and then that is only in a declared status rather than a validated PIC. And as a rule, we need to have all PICs validated. So what we do, we reach the EIT community service, will reach you and start a process where they will ask for some documents to start your validation of the PIC. So they will provide you, and they will send you an email. They will provide you some login details to their platform. They will need some documents. You need to upload those documents. But please bear in mind, uploading the documents doesn't mean that you are done with validation. It just means that the team, EIT Community Service, has started working on your documents. Once they are done, so once they validate your entity, You and us will be both informed by EIT Community Service. So we will say, okay, this entity is now validated. And if the whole consortia is okay, which means onboarded and validated, then, as I said, you are good to go to receive your award letter and then your contracts. So where are you as HEI at this moment? So pre-selection are done. So you already received your emails that you know that you are already selected. And then my colleagues Laura and Kara kindly send the mails to you about onboarding and validation to kick off the ones that need to do that. So that's also on track. So you are on the stage we call onboarding and validation. And as I said, if you need a validation, you will be contacted again. And once this both onboarding and validation are completed, you will move to award letter and then contracting and then financing. In the meantime, within this process, we are always here to explain you more if something is not clear or if you have any project specific questions regarding your status. So a little bit about contracting. You will receive your contracts, and there will be two set of contracts. One of them is bilateral CAVA contract, that is with EIT Food and each CAVA member, so each of the entity that is in your consortium. And there is another contract which we call framework agreement that will also need to be signed. However, if you already signed it for this period of 23-25, you won't receive it. But if you have never received one framework agreement, which means you never joined to a project within this period of time, then you will receive one framework agreement for your entity to sign. Very short, brief introduction to grant cycle. So your projects are selected. We call them CAVAs. So your CAVAs are selected. You will be in the business plan. Then you will go through a monitoring period at EIT Food. And then there will be a time for CAVA amendments. So if the things are going not as expected, there will be a time to discuss some amendments and do some amendments after some justifications. And then the reporting. The important thing here is to mention that we are always here in every section of this grant cycle with our webinars, with our mailbox to be there to reply the emails. So don't have any hesitation that these will be complicated. We will be here with our webinars every time before each step starts. So before monitoring, we will be again arranging webinars. You will be invited there. There will be Q&A sessions. So I just want to give you a very brief view of what to expect in terms of grant cycle, but you don't need to worry about at all. One thing that you really need to keep in mind and always remember is this star there that we put with a link that we call AMGA. This is the document that you really need to keep an eye on it when you start your projects and when you start your cost spending, because that is the document that designs the whole cost eligibility. So from day one, we really recommend you to have a look at it and really be responsible about your costs eligibility. Because whenever you have a question to us, like a specific one regarding a cost, we always direct you to check AMGA, because we know that the responsible entity for the costs eligibility are your entities. A very short description of which names you may hear who are there in EIT Food or in your CAVAs. So you will have an activity leader. And this is the person responsible from the proposal budgets. So in all of those steps that I showed, in all of these, activity leader is the one that is literally working in the grants management tool, Salesforce for the moment. So activity leader is the responsible one for many questions that we have for your projects. There will also be task leaders and contributors in your projects, and activity leader can determine who needs to lead the tasks or contributors, and these people can be assigned, take a role in the system. At EIT Food, you will hear these names from us a lot: program manager or functional program manager. So this will be the person for your questions regarding your projects. So here, as business support team, we are always here for your questions related to your onboarding, validation, grant cycle, anything about the tool that is not working, so we can check with IT. But if you have specific questions about the project itself, that is program manager who is responsible from your projects. So she will be the one helping you regarding the projects. A very brief introduction to Food Hive. So you will receive an invitation to a Hive platform. I have already shared your contact details with my colleagues to make sure that they invite you to our Hive platform. And this is the one that brings together all members of EIT Food Community. We really use Hive quite a lot to give information, to give our resources or the updates about the events. So we really, really appreciate if you can become a part of the group, because we really think the tool is working really good in terms of the active communication. And if you need to watch one of those recordings from old days or even this one, you can always reach our playlist on YouTube. Probably not today, but I hope later tomorrow I will be able to edit this video, and also our presentation will be there in our Hive platform for you to access it. So final slides. The survey, we really appreciate if you can fill in the survey, because this is not only for us, this is also for you. We really want to hear your comments to see if the presentation is short, if it's long, if it was enough for you, or maybe I was not clear. So I would really appreciate your feedbacks there to improve our service assistance to you. And whenever you have your questions, please don't hesitate. Always reach us through this email address that you see.